Mia, hi. I was hoping I'd run into you. I could really do with some advice.
Hi, Olivia. What's up?
I have to write a paper on the effect of social media on teenagers' self-esteem. I don't even know where to start.
I see. Well, to write a paper like this, you will need to collect information from different reliable sources and put it together. There are some steps you need to take in order to do that. First of all, define the question or the problem that you will be researching in detail. Break it down into smaller chunks if needed. In the case of your paper, what do we mean by social media? What does self-esteem mean? How can we measure it? Etc. Then, collect your materials. These can either be printed, such as newspapers and books, or digital, such as articles and journals on the internet. It is useful to have many sources of information. The more sources you have, the richer your research will be, and you will be able to look at your question from different perspectives. Moreover, one source might answer one part of the question, while you may need to find a different source to answer another part of the question. If you're struggling to find sources, ask your teacher or your school librarian for some recommendations. The internet contains a wealth of information, but you also need to use the correct search terms. And, of course, the information you find on the internet is not always accurate. Which brings me to evaluate your sources. Check for relevance, credibility, and accuracy. A source that is credible will have a good reputation and have done their own research. For instance, a national newspaper or a professor that teaches your subject at a university are usually credible sources because they are reputable, well-recognized authorities. However, even a credible source can make mistakes. That is why you also need to check for accuracy by comparing the information from one source to other credible sources. You also need to make sure that the information provided by these sources is relevant to your research. There is no point including a credible source if it doesn't answer at least part of your research question. When you've collected and evaluated your sources, use them in your text correctly. First of all, select which part of the source you will use. You cannot include everything, so be careful to only use the part that is relevant and useful in your text. Then, decide if you are going to use quotes or cite that part of the source. Let's have a quick look at these two options. Quoting part of a text means that you copy the exact words from it. When you quote, you put that part of the text in quotation marks. Here is an example. The average lifespan of a black howler monkey in the wild is 15 to 20 years, Bondi, 2021, page 201. Note how I provide a reference to the author of the original text. You must always do that, otherwise you will be plagiarizing that text. Plagiarism is essentially stealing someone else's work and presenting it as your own. Plagiarizing a text is not only wrong, it might also affect your grades negatively. Always provide a proper reference. When you cite a source, you use the information from that source, but you use your own words or paraphrase it. Here is an example of how you can use your own words to paraphrase the text about the black howler monkey. Black howler monkeys that live in the wild live for 15 to 20 years on average. Bondi, 2021. Even if you don't use quotes, you still need to provide a reference to the source of your information, so that you don't plagiarize it. Finally, remember that the text in your paper needs to flow. Use your sources to support your own words, don't just piece parts of other sources together. For example, exercise is not only fun, but also a great way to keep healthy and build strength. There is a great body of research on the subject. For instance, it has been shown to release endorphins, our feel-good hormones, Sponstrom, 2012, and make our hearts stronger, Klein, 1998. In this example, I introduced the topic of the health benefits of exercise. Only afterwards did I use the sources I found to support my argument.
Let me see if I got the steps right. First, I should define my question or problem. Then, I should collect my materials and evaluate whether my sources are accurate, credible, and relevant. Once I've done that, I should make sure I quote or cite the information correctly, without plagiarizing. Finally, I should write my own text in a way that flows, using the information I collected to support my text.
Well done. Good luck on your paper.